Okay, so welcome everyone. I officially welcome you to the day 2 of this digital forensics masterclass. So कल हमने computer forensic के बारे में बात करी थी. We also saw some cool tricks, right? How we can boot from a disk image directly as a virtual machine. How we can use the physical device as a virtual machine, and also how we can bypass the Windows password, right? So, is there anyone who is uncomfortable in Hindi or uncomfortable in English also? Is there anyone? लोग सबको हिंदी इंग्लिश का मिक्स ठीक लगेगा, राइट? राइट, आई एम शेयरिंग माय स्क्रीन एंड so before that I need to do one thing. Right, is my screen visible? Okay, yes. सिर्फ वैभव को विजिबल है क्या? बाकी लोगों को विजिबल नहीं है? Guys, please do confirm in the chats. Okay. I got 2 yes, 2 confirmation, 3. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go for my PDF now. Before starting with the today's session, anyone who is new here, let me tell you about Wiseman CyberSec. Wiseman CyberSec कौन है, हम लोग क्या करते हैं? So Wiseman CyberSec is a division of Wiseman InfoSec Private Limited dedicated to cybersecurity trainings. We basically work in cybersecurity education and practical trainings. We bridge the gap that is there inside the industry with the practical trainings that make you job ready. Okay. We are also a DPPIT certified or recognized startup. We provide trainings on the domains like offensive security, defensive security, cloud security, and GRC. We provide corporate and individual trainings. There are college partnerships as well. Currently, we are working with Chhatrapati Shahuji Maharaj University to integrate cybersecurity labs and curriculum in the existing programs. This is our academic collaboration model. Basically, we try to give as much hands-on as possible to a student so that the person can be job ready. As we all know that the cybersecurity is a field of skills only. The theory alone is not enough to be working in this field, in this domain. You need to have a hands-on experience before you go into the real world. We also offer personalized career mentorship and personalized custom trainings as well. So you can get in touch with our team and we can get started on a call. Custom trainings also, we offer attack scenario analysis, tool specific deep dives are also provided by us. So these are parts of our custom training model or solutions. So if you want to start your career into cybersecurity, we would love to be the part of your journey, as we are literally the leading professionals right now, providing the 100% hands-on training. So now, for anyone who is new, who is Abhilash Singh, who is me, मैं कौन हूँ? So I am a data recovery and a digital forensic expert. I'm into the field from last 11 to 12 years, and I am also a certified ethical hacker. My expertise lies in digital investigation, forensic analysis, and data recovery. I also try to bridge the gap in the industry with my practical hands-on training. My core disciplines are computer forensics, mobile device forensics, and evidence handling. There are some industry recognized certifications that I would like to show to you. So I have a Parabens mobile forensic operator. I'm a certified computer forensic operator as well, DB2C operator. I have a security plus from Comsia. I'm a CEH, I have a CHFI, I have an ECDFP, CDFE. I'm also a cyber criminologist, certified cyber criminologist, also an EC Council instructor, and also a cybersecurity professional. So I would say I am a perfect fit for this job, perfect fit to teach someone. And my ultimate goal is to bridge the gap that is there inside the industry. As we all know that there are no practical trainings, like there is a serious lack of practical and real world trainings in the industry. So I try to bridge that gap with my trainings. So today's agenda is mobile forensics. What is mobile forensics? So anybody have any idea here that what's mobile forensics? We learned about computer forensics yesterday. So anyone have any idea what can mobile forensics be? Why is it a separate field? Any ideas, anyone? तो नहीं भी पता तो भी चलेगा, टूटा फूटा कुछ बोलना है तो यू कैन स्पीक और यू कैन राइट इट इन द चैट्स. गाइस व्हाट हैपेंड? एनर्जी कहाँ है? सो रहे हैं क्या सब? Try to extract data from the mobile devices. Okay, good. Any other answer? Guys, wake up. So nobody wanna participate basically. Everybody is sleeping. Karthik, Shweta, Siddhi, Vaibhav. Where are you guys? Lavanya. If we won't interact, this session will become boring. हम interact नहीं करेंगे, session बहुत boring हो जाएगा. There is a lot of theory. I won't lie to you. There is a lot of theory. You cannot ignore that part. Again, to make that part fun enough, we need to interact. We need to, I cannot interact alone by myself only. You guys have to interact. I'll take this as a no. So, what is mobile forensics? Mobile forensics is a separate discipline inside the forensic science, inside computer forensics or digital forensics field. So, why mobile forensics is separate? There are some reasons to it. So, digital evidence recovery is very different in the mobile devices as compared to computer devices or any other device out there. Device scope is also enhanced and reduced in some spaces, and there is critical data source. Like we were talking yesterday, आजकल के phones में there is a device storage as high as 1 TB, and there are options to expand that to 2 TB as well. The iPhone 17 Pro Max is coming with 2 TB module now. Yeah, you need to pay a bit, not a bit, a lot extra with Apple tax and all that. But yeah, you are getting 2 TB inside your pocket, which is completely functional with a computer size pocket, with a pocket size computer in your pocket itself. That is your mobile phone. So there is critical data source. There is private data on the mobile devices. Mobile devices has more private data, more crucial data as compared to the computer devices. That's why mobile forensics exist. Okay. So there is a certain process, there is a certain scientific approach that we must follow in case of a mobile device as well, like we follow in the disk forensics. So again, first of all, we have to identify, recognizing and securing a mobile device at the scene. Basically, identify what are the mobile devices or which are the mobile devices on a scene. Right? There is a huge difference in a mobile device and a laptop device or a desktop system, right? So if you are looking for an mobile device, so you are only going to get a mobile device, right? You're not going to again get a table lamp. That's not the right type of evidence you're looking for. Yeah, if it's a smart table lamp or if it's Alexa or Google Home, you would take it. That also come inside IoT forensics or mobile forensics as well, as they are the mobile devices. They are movable, right? You can carry them and connect it to the network. Then comes the preservation part. So preserving an mobile device is very different from preserving a hard disk or an SSD. इसका रीजन ये है कि कंप्यूटर एक बहुत बड़ा सिस्टम होता है. इट्स अ वेरी बिग सिस्टम. इट इज combined with a lot of components which are removable. But in case of a mobile device, everything is soldered on one board inside one chassis, right? So, first of all, we need to isolate it from the network. Reason being, because there is a capability to remotely wipe the data, right? गूगल सबने यूज किया होगा, गूगल फाइंड हब, राइट? फाइंड माय मोबाइल डिवाइस और वट एवर इट इज कॉल्ड. जिसने गूगल यूज नहीं किया उसने एप्पल फाइंड माई यूज किया होगा. देर इज एन ऑप्शन टू इरेज द डिवाइस मैनुअली, sorry, remotely, right? Like you can be away, you can be in the another corner of the world, and you can give a command to wipe the device if it is connected to the internet. And with the current scenario and with the cheap internet that we are having in India and with Geo SIMs and all that, we do not bother to turn off the mobile data or internet access anymore. There was a time when we had to, just turn on internet for the work that we want to do. And after that, we just, you know, turned off the mobile data. We used to save it for the next month as well, right? But right now, nobody bothers. We used to get 2 GB for the whole month. Now we get 2 GB daily, which is getting renewed after 24 hours. That is 12 in the midnight, right? And with the lifestyle we are having, the majority of the people having the lifestyle, it is, we sleep way past 12 already. So it is very much possible that there is a chance that we acquire an evidence or we acquire the mobile device and the, accomplice of the suspect remotely wipes the device. So in that case, we need to isolate it from the network, mobile network. To do that, what we will do? We will turn on the airplane mode and put the device inside a Faraday bag. So, what is a Faraday bag now? I'll search for it here. Faraday bag. It's a specialized RF shield bag basically. It will block any kind of networks going inside that bag, right? That's how it looks like. Something like this and this. So when a device is inside a Faraday bag, it can no longer communicate to the outside world. It cannot connect to a Wi-Fi. It cannot connect to a Bluetooth. It cannot connect to a mobile data and all that. And if on site we do not have a Faraday bag, we can use aluminum foil and can wrap the device completely inside it. Right? This is something you can try at home. So you guys can do this thing. You can take some aluminum foil, completely cover your mobile device with it, and then try to call on your phone. You will notice that you can not call that device. You will get an that notification sound calling that the person you're trying to reach is currently out of serviceable area, right? That is currently out of reach. That is what you are going to get. And it will also not get connected to the internet because the network signals are being blocked by the aluminum foils. Now there is acquisition to it. We cannot directly investigate on the phones either, right? But in the acquisition of mobile devices, it is very much different from a hard disk because we have to make certain changes inside the mobile device in order to get the data out of them. So, how many of you have uh, heard about developer options? Guys, write your answer in the chats. Have you heard about developer options, USB debugging and all that? एक ही बंदा इंटरेक्ट कर रहा है, बाकी लोग कहाँ हैं भाई? तो मत यार, ऐसे ऐसे मजा नहीं आएगा. Okay, so anyone of you knows what developer options are? What is USB debugging? Why do we use that? Anyone want to tell me what the developer options are and how do we basically Enable them. Are they enabled by default or do we have to enable them? Source code debugging, enable configuration and checking. Okay, we enable that. We have to enable. Okay, how do we enable that? It gives access to the OS files. Uh, if it gives access to the OS files, I can simply connect to the USB cable, right? And I can simply do this. I'll show it to you. I can connect it in the file transfer mode, right? If it is giving me access to the OS files. Here, I connected my device and I changed to transfer files. There are files here. I can access those. Why do I need developer options then? Knows the answer? नहीं पता तो भी कोई बात नहीं. पता है तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. Edit and alter settings. Why would we edit or alter settings? We are not supposed to do that. We cannot change anything on the evidence. There is a certain limit to that. What we can change and what we cannot change in case of a mobile device. So I am able to access the OS files, the file system here of the mobile device, right? All the data is here. Why do I need USB debugging? It's a very simple answer. कल भी बताया था मैंने. If anyone remembers, तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. नहीं पता तो कोई बात नहीं. I'll tell you. ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं लेते. So first of all, we have to enable the developer options. It is not enabled by default, and there are certain settings that we need to change. So I would like to mirror my screen for you all guys. CRTY. Okay, I don't have the program that I need. कोई बात नहीं, download कर लेते हैं. This is also, comes in handy sometimes. You can download this program. It is known as SCRCPY Plus. It's the GUI version of SCRCPY. It's a command line tool. ये उसका GUI version. We're going to in the releases, and then we'll download the portable version. That would be better. Starting the download. Okay, and I am extracting this on my desktop itself. I'll say SCRCPY. Now, to be able to use that tool as well, you need to enable the developer options and USB debugging. So I'll just mirror my screen here. I'm currently using Redmi 6 Pro. Okay, and it's running on Android 8, so it is completely encrypted. All right, I'll just connect my device here now. So this is my device here, right? I can control my device with my computer system, and these are the developer options. So I am on an MIUI system. So what I need to do is, for MIUI particularly, we need to tap on the MIUI version for 7 to 10 times, and then we'll get a message that you have enabled the developer options, right? And then we can find that inside additional settings, and these are the developer options. Now, what are the settings that we need to enable? We need to enable the OEM unlocking. Okay, we enable USB debugging. We enable install via USB, right? This is an optional setting. And then there is a setting to keep awake. It's here. We have to enable stay awake as well, because if the phone sleeps in the middle of the acquisition, it will create problems. Now we need this to be able to communicate with the mobile device at a low level. See, we have access to the storage. This is the logical storage only. There is much more to the Android file system, right? We are going to study about it in a bit just now. Okay, so just acquiring this is not enough. There are other things on a mobile device as well. Now, what are those things? So we have two major mobile devices in the market, that is your Android and iOS. Android is open source with diverse hardware manufacturers. There are different manufacturers for Android. For Apple, there is only a single manufacturer. It is closed source as well. It's unified hardware and software integration. Basically, everything is made by Apple. It has strong security and privacy focus, cover over 294 million devices in 2013. Okay. Now, what with the Android? Highly customizable user experience, dominant global market. Globally, Android is being the most used device. Varied security implementations across OEMs. So, it is very much possible that you are having two different devices of the same processor, and one device is, very easily acquired. The other device is not getting acquired at all. That is because of the differentiations. So, in terms of that, Android is more secure. So iOS is secure, but iOS is not more secure as compared to Android. This is a very different approach I am telling you right now, because there's a myth in the market that iOS means privacy. That does not make any sense in the real world. Reason being, iOS is completely closed source. So privacy and security, all that thing, that doesn't make any sense. If somebody is having access to your iOS device, the iOS devices are always the one that are getting hacked within seconds. You must have seen those news. Android devices takes much more time and are much more secured as compared to iOS devices. These are the things that you know when you work in the field of forensics. Okay. In 2013, there were over 798 million devices that were Android. Basically, 798 million people were using Android devices. Buried security implementation we just talked about. Now, what are the artifacts that are found in a mobile phone? So there are common artifacts in both the devices, that is iOS and Android. You get call logs and contact list. That is something not on your storage. It is inside your mobile device. SMS and MMS messages, photos and videos, browsing history and bookmarks. That is also not inside your storage. That is inside your browser. That is inside your app data, right? App data and usage patterns, how the device is being used. You know that digital well-being wala part. I don't know if it is the it's here or not. I don't think so. That digital well-being came in Android 8. Let's search digital well-being. I I really don't think so. Screen time. Yeah, so the setting was not in Android 8. Never mind. So that digital well-being basically shows your pattern, how much screen time you have, what app you are using, what all apps you have installed in your phone, how much time are you spending on that particular app. Like for example, the case that I also got the mobile device of that person. I had to return it after investigating. So that person was addicted to adult content and Instagram. So his screen time on Instagram was uh, 10 hours or 12 hours a day. Okay. So basically, he was on Instagram all the time. And if we look up bigger chart, then there was the browser, right? There was a separate browser to watch the adult content that he had. He had around 7 to 8 hours of screen time on that particular browser. If we talk about the total comparison from the date of installation until the day we are investigating, right? So that shows a pattern that this person use only these two type of apps. So what that will make me gather the data of those particular apps. Okay. Location tracking data is available on the devices as well. Right. There is deleted but recoverable content. Now this is very much controversial. Many people will claim they can get the deleted data, recover the deleted data from a mobile device. Some people say it is not possible. The reality is it is not possible. Recovery in mobile device works very, very differently as compared to recovery in case of an hard disk or an SSD. If a mobile device is formatted, you cannot recover the data. If your mobile device, have some deleted data and you have been using it without realizing the deleted data cannot be back. इसका reason है there is a thing called trim command. It overwrites, it empties the block as soon as you delete the data, as soon as you permanently delete the data, right? That's also the reason why recovery is very much difficult in case of SSDs. In case of an SSD, the recovery rate is only around 4 to 5%, right? And in case of mobile, that is only 1 to 2%. Forensic grade tools are there who can perform the carving properly. They can carve the whole storage, but even after that, the recovery is not guaranteed. Okay, so this is the thing. Now I was asked a question yesterday: is it possible to recover the data of a device after it has been flashed? So who asked me that question? I guess it was you, Lavanya, right? So, Lavanya, did you research about it? Did you find the answer to your question? You can speak. I have given you permission if you want to, or you can write in the chats. Your choice. Lavanya. It destroys the encryption key, so it is not possible to recover the data. Okay, you are partially correct. Basically, generally, you are correct. But during the flashing of mobile phones as well, there is an option to save the data. It is not usually practiced in the GSM industry, but there is an option to safeguard your data. It is very much possible that you flash the whole device except for the user data partition. Now, what is that? We are going to see it in the practical session. I'm going to show you how we bypass the security, and after that, there is a data set I am having that is of my own phone. In that, I will show you the structure of an Android device from the inside. Okay. Now there are some Android specific artifacts as well. So there are system configuration files, detailed usage logs, user dictionary entries, manufacturer specific app data, and Google account integration data. And when it comes to iOS, there is some specific data artifacts as well, like FaceTime call logs, iCloud file synchronization, map search history, health app metrics, Bluetooth pairing records. ये तो दोनों में मिल जाता है, राइट? वाईफाई नेटवर्क क्रेडेंशियल्स ये भी दोनों में मिल जाता है, बट ऊपर की तीन चीजें चार चीजें हैं जो स्पेसिफिक टू iOS है. नाउ Android inner workings, boot process, and file system. So, how does an Android boot? From power on to user interface, Android follows a sequential boot chain. There's a sequential boot chain. First, the bootloader initializes the hardware. Then the kernel loads and mounts the file system. Then Android runtime and services start. And after that, finally, the user interfaces appeared. The file system architecture uses ext4. Okay. In older system, it was F2FS file systems. There is file-based encryption since Android 7 and partial file-based encryption since Android 6. The data was unencrypted till Android 5. After Android 6, it was partially encrypted. After Android 7, starting from Android 7 actually, the data was completely encrypted. Now we are going to learn what I mean with that. File system, physical acquisition ideal but challenging. Physical acquisition is always ideal in case of any evidence, but there is a limitation. Limitation is that we do not have the root access to the devices. Till Android 5, it was possible to one-click root the devices and make a physical image of the device. But after Android 6, many devices weren't able to get rooted by one-click roots. Some devices were able to be rooted without unlocking the bootloader by flashing a custom recovery and super exclusive. But now it is very much completely impossible, to be honest, in the latest devices to root the device without unlocking a bootloader. There are some exceptions where you can unlock the bootloader without losing the data, and in that case you can flash a custom recovery like TWRP and then remove the password manually. Full file system access as alternative. So physical acquisition have a lot of data, but full file system access, full file system is basically something else. It exploits certain vulnerabilities that gets you a lot more data than just your logical storage, right? But there is a lot of partitions missing. Like there is the cust partition that is missing. There is the boot partition which is missing. There is T1, T2, and LK1, LK2 partitions. These are some partitions that are missing inside the full file system. VM meta, VM cache, these file systems are missing. But it is still very much better than logical file acquisition, just the Android file system. App sandboxing limits the data access, right? So there is app sandboxing in the uh, latest Androids now, right? The apps are not directly uh, basic. What should I say? Installed on your system. They are firstly checked inside a sandbox environment by Google Play Protect, right? And if it is safe, it's there. If it does not meet any virus database or anything like that, then it is safe to install, and then it is finally installed on your Android device. But even that, in the latest Android devices, you cannot access the partition, the data partition. You cannot access, right? You can only access the OBP partition. You cannot access. You can access media partition to some extent. So there is privacy now. So this is the architecture of Android from inside. Android is a Linux based OS. Okay, so Android is Linux from inside, designed for portable devices such as smartphones and tablets. It is a stack of software components categorized into 6 sections, which are as follows: system apps, Java API frameworks, native C and C++ libraries, Android runtime, hardware abstraction layer, and then finally Linux kernel and the power management. Okay, so power management is something that you can look at this chart here, right? How the things are differentiated, how things work in an Android device, right? I'll share the PPT after the session. This is the Android boot process. It's a flow chart. The Android Linux kernel component first calls the init process. The init process accesses the various process and daemons, including init.rc, mostly known as Zygote. This is the encryption. This is responsible for your file system encryption. We sometimes disabled it when we, acquire data using a custom recovery or ADB sideload mode if it's possible. Then we disable Zygote runtime for a temporary basis, and then we acquire the data. The Zygote process loads code, Java classes, performs an initial processing steps. Okay. After the initial load process, Zygote idles on a socket and waits for further request. So in the chart here, you can see that there is boot ROM, there is bootloader, which calls the kernel, which initializes the hardware basically, right? And then there is certain things that are happening here. Now, what are the file system, or how does the file system look like? What is the Android file system hierarchy, right? So it consists of some important partitions like the boot partition. It consists of the boot image and kernel, which is required for powering of the Android device. Okay, the Android OS includes entire Android OS, including GUI components and pre-installed applications inside the system partition. It is just like Linux. The same goes for the Linux system as well. Then there is the recovery partition. It holds a recovery image. So Are you guys aware of the recovery that every Android comes with? There's a recovery, Android recovery. There's a recovery mode inside your Android device. Are you guys aware of that? And if not, then can I know who are not aware of that? Please write it in the chats. So all Androids comes with a recovery mode. Okay, it is having some, like, the options differ. The Samsung and Android recovery is having much more options as compared to Xiaomi. Xiaomi is the, I guess, the worst recovery I have ever seen. It has only 2 to 3 options. Like it either lets you reboot the system, it either lets you connect via MI assistant, which is by the way dead, and it lets you reset your device. That's all. No other option. In Samsung, there are much more options, like apply an update from SD card, or an you can connect via ADB. You can reboot to the bootloader mode from the recovery itself. You can reset your data, of course. You can reset the cache partition, right? You can power up the device. You can check the system logs from the recovery itself. Okay, so these are the things. Then there is the data partition or data directory. Includes app and user data like photos, music, videos, contacts, settings, apps, and if supported file system. This is what we are talking about here. Android. There's the folder Android, and then there is data. So this is the basically cache and all the libraries and requirements of a file for an app. Okay, this is the data partition or the data directory. Then there is cache directory. It includes all the temporary files generated by both OS and applications. It's a partition. Then there is a MISC partition, miscellaneous, consists of miscellaneous settings data like carrier details, hardware settings, configuration, bootloader state, etc. It is basically it keeps on flushing apart from some settings. Then there is the SD card folder. Internal storage emulates this partition, which contains user files and application saved data. Now, I'll show you something. Uh, there's a thing called ADB, Android Debugging Bridge, also known as platform tools. So I'll do ADB devices to check for the device connections. Okay, sorry, adb.exe devices. Oh, okay, I am. That's an issue. So it is showing me that I am connected to the device. Now I'll go to the terminal. Okay. DB shell. I am inside the terminal now. I'll clear the screen. Now I'll list the partitions. So you can notice that there are certain permission denied error. Okay. So I'll just give the permission since this device is rooted. So I can give the permissions by myself. Now if I'll ls, I am again getting an error because I am the user. I can do su, and now I am the root user. So if I'll do ls now, so you can see now that there are certain partitions here. There is the cust partition, init rc, charger, cache, dsp, dav, data. This is the partition we are talking about. So if you go inside the data partition, there is more folders, more directories. Inside data, there is the SD card partition or SD card directory. This is our internal storage. This is what we do when we acquire the logical data. There's a system partition as well inside the data. Backup, boot chart, cache directory, ADB directory itself. There is another data. Now this is where encrypted content is stored. So if you are having a WhatsApp in your phone, so there is a certain encryption key which is stored inside this, which you cannot access without the root access. But if you get the full file system, you are going to get this data partition and you will be able to decrypt your data. So this is how Android looks like. Okay. And HDEXT stands for the external storage. If we are having an, what is it called? SD card. There is iOS. There is a certain iOS boot standard and all that. There's a secure boot chain, ensures only trusted cryptographic signed code executes each boot stage. That means it won't let you boot any other OS. It checks every time that whether you are using or have installed the correct OS or not, right? Then there is a iBoot stage. First stage, bootloader validates iOS kernel integrity before loading. So it basically validates all the type of integrity, whether there is some modification done or not. If there is any modification, you will be getting an error, the boot screen error. Then there is Springboard launch. Final stage loads the iOS user interface and the home screen. iOS historically used HFS, but now it is primarily used APFS. Okay, it पहले HFS use करता था, अब APFS file system use करता है. And the best way to acquire the data from this mobile devices, that is your iOS, is the iTunes backup. Okay, in certain cases, in some cases, there is this data available, like what is it called? Mm, you can create physical images if the device is already jailbroken or if there is any RAM disk available for the device, right? Then there is bypassing Android password protection. So there are certain challenges. The first challenge is encryption challenge. So after even since the day Android 7 has launched, the digital forensic analysis of an Android device has been a pain in the butt. Reason being the file-based encryption. Now, when we talk about iOS, the iOS device is having a file system encryption. Basically, it encrypts the whole file system with a single key. But in case of an file-based encryption in Android, every single file have its own key. Okay. So even if you get a key, let's just say you create a process and you extract a data decryption key, there'll be a number of keys first of all, and you wouldn't know like which key is of which particular file, right? So that's the issue there. The only solution we have for it right now is disabling the encryption temporarily. How do we do that? We do that by using a modified bootloader. Okay. By modifying the bootloader temporarily in the RAM, we do not let the encryption take place in the first place, right? And after that, we gather the physical image or logical acquisition depending upon the case. Now, there are brute force attacks. For older devices, we were able to brute force them. From newer devices, we cannot brute force any device until unless we have a brute force exploit for that particular device. Reason being, you will have noticed कई बार password भूल जाते हैं. You might have forgotten a password or typed wrong password. After certain wrong attempts, your phone has locked you out for certain time. And if that continues, the phone is permanently locked, and the only way to uh, regain access to your device is to reset the data. Now, why reset the device? Why reset the data? Because that will reset or destroy the older encryption key now, and you will be able to use your phone again. Okay. Then there is an option to exploit vulnerabilities. Every system has certain vulnerabilities, be it Android, be it iOS, be it Windows, Linux, or Mac OS. Now we exploit with those vulnerabilities to gain that access. And then there is physical acquisition window. Devices in AFU state allows easier acquisition. That is after first unlock. Like uh, we restart the device and the device has been logged once. The password have been put inside the phone for at least once. That is your AFU state. BFU state is the phone basically just booted and haven't there haven't be a password inserted yet. You must have noticed that your phone after restart asks you for the password only. It wouldn't start with Face ID. It wouldn't start with the fingerprint. Right? It asks for the password. That is to decrypt the data. That is to complete the decryption process. Right? There are some Android evidence analysis tools. There is Celebrate Physical Analyzer. There is Magnetixium. There is XRY by the company named MSAB. There are other tools as well. There is E3. We are going to use that. Evidence Eliminator. It's written wrong by the AI. I'm so sorry for that, guys. Then Autopsy. There are certain types of acquisitions, like logical acquisition, captures the user accessible data. File system acquisition extracts the whole file data and the metadata. Physical acquisition creates a bit by bit copy of the entire storage, that is the NAND flash. And then there is live acquisition, volatile data from running device memory. This is only possible in case of a rooted device. The evolving frontier of mobile forensics, continuous evolution. So basically, mobile devices are evolving by the day, and there is really nothing that we can do about it, right? Technology, yeah, it will keep growing. So we have to keep ourselves updated, and we have to keep ourselves, basically we have to adapt accordingly. Forensic professionals must continuously learn to adapt with the new tools. There will be new tools, new vulnerabilities, new security patches every day. You must know what is possible and what is not. So that is all for the theory part. Now we are going to jump into the practical side, and I'll just start my camera here and connect to my forensic workstation. Just give me a minute, guys. So here I will be connecting to my forensic workstation now. I'll just accept the request. Accepted. And ignore the desktop, okay? It is very much messy, I know that. But this is how a forensic desktop or a workstation looks like when you are actively working on a case. Now, now you have to look at the two things here. I'm starting my camera, and also my screen is shared, that is of my forensic workstation. So I'll select the correct camera here. So this is a Redmi Note 4 device that I am having right now, and it is password protected. Okay, it came from the police department. It is password protected, and I don't know the password of this device. You can see, everybody is able to see this. Are you guys able to see the camera and my screen? This is password protected. Now, the reason I have the back panel open is that we are going to perform a thing called EDL acquisition, right? And to do that, we need certain tools like the appropriate screwdriver, we need the appropriate cable, and we need tweezers to sort out the 2 points. Now, to be able to boot into the EDL mode, we first need to disconnect the battery of the device. Otherwise, we will not be able to connect in the bootloader mode. And during the booting process, what we must do is, as we sort the EDL points, there are 2 points here. You can see where did it went here. right where my finger is. Okay, these 2 points are needed to be shorted, and with that we need to insert the USB cable. Right now, that is a very difficult process, to be very honest. So what we will do is we will use a powered USB hub. I'll connect the cable and I'll use the button as the trigger. Okay, that's a basic thing, very basic thing. We do it all the day already, right? And on my computer system, I'll use a forensic tool. So there are two approaches for this particular acquisition that I can do. The first approach is I use device extractor. I extract an EDL image, that is a complete physical image of the device, via EDL exploitation. EDL exploitation basically is uh, inserting a custom programmer bootloader and then accessing the data out directly, right? So here I will select, let me just change one thing. All right. So guys, just let me know that are you guys able to see both the screens, like the one that I am showing with my camera and the one that is on your screen right now? Are you guys able to see both of them? So we'll go into the device manager here. There is device manager, and just to confirm that we are actually in the EDL mode, right? There will be a COM port created, which is the Qualcomm COM port. Okay, so we can monitor that. Now I'll use a spudger to disconnect the battery, just so that we won't be damaging anything. This is the real evidence I am having. Also, we are not going to explore any content of this evidence. We cannot show any data of this since it's the real case. But I have other dummy phone for you. So this is the battery connector here, right? And I am going to disconnect this battery connector. It is now disconnected. And now I am connecting the cable. The cable is connected. Now what I need to do, I need to sort these 2 points. Okay, these are called EDL points. And here I have to start, or basically uh, prepare my system for a handshake, right? So here I have the Redmi Note 4. I'll do the Qualcomm EDL acquisition. I'll go into the extract physical image, and here it is now waiting for a handshake. Now what I will do is I will short these points like this. Okay, or I can do with the other hand as well, so that you can see the button, right? These 2 points are now shorted, and I'll turn on the button. There are two sounds of the connection. In the background, we can see that there is a COM port created, right? And the tool has started creating the EDL image. As you can see, it is creating an image which is 58.2 GBs. That is the whole NAND flash of this device, right? And with that, I will be able to browse the data. It will also, now I'll cancel this process because I have already done this case. I have this acquisition here. It will create this file, emmc.bin. You can see it. It's a 58.2 GB file. Okay. Now that was all for the physical mobile wala part. I am going to turn off the camera now. You guys can now focus on the screen itself. Okay. So this is the main file which is having all the data inside it. Now mind it, this is still encrypted, but inside the tool we will be able to view all the data because of this keys.json file. These are the hardware decryption and encryption keys for this particular image that we have just created. Now this was possible due to the bootloader modification that we have temporarily did inside the RAM. We made the system boot from our particular bootloader temporarily in the EDL mode, so that we can disable the encryption temporarily. and we are now able to create an image, right? And we can browse the data inside the tool of our choice. Now there are a lot of tools available out there. Now, how does a phone look from inside? We are going to explore this thing via two tools. One is an commercial tool which is known as Electronic Evidence Examiner E3, right? It is by Paraben. Paraben is the company, and you can notice that I am certified with that company. I know how to use this tool. I am certified in Paraben E3. Will load, and there is this image j2pro.dd. This is my one of the first phone I've used, and this is a physical image of that. Okay, so physical images, we are going to work on the physical image, and I am going to show you how physical images actually look like from the inside. And we will also see how different tools gives out different kind of data. Now, if we go into add evidence here, it will ask me to create a case, and I'll just simply create a sample case here. And then it is asking me to add a physical drive or an image file. I added an image file, and there I can add a drive image also, like it's also well versed in computer forensics as well. I will click on auto detect, and I'll give it the j2pro.dd wali image, which is here, j2pro.dd. Open, and we will keep the name the way it is. Now, there's also one thing that we must keep in mind, that is, not all the devices are exploitable. There are certain limitations as well. Now, my reason to show you the J2 Pro wali image is that I'm going to show you that there are a lot of partitions inside an image. Now it is parsing the partitions, as you can see. So it found partition 0 and an unpartitioned space, right? And it should be still running. It has finished running. Okay. So as you can see that it wasn't able to parse much of it, because there are more than 30 partitions inside, and it has only found one partition, right? So this is how and why the choice of tool matters. Now we are going to use the open source tool known as Autopsy, which is, by the way, very much excellent tool, and it is a very excellent tool. It is not given enough justice just because it is an open source tool, to be very honest with you guys. Now here I will create a case and add the image. I create a case here, and I'll name it as J2 Pro, or whatever the details we are having. Like, and I can add my name, like examiner's name is Ablash, and then I go on finish. Now it is creating a case database, and after that I'm going to show you how we are going to bypass the password of his Note 4 device. Okay, I have already got the permission for that, and I'm going to show you another tool for that. Now the database is created, the case is created. Now we add the evidence, right? This is the basic principle of every tool, be it free, be it paid. I'll go and I'll select the disk image option, and I'm going to browse the J2 Pro image. Okay, here it is. Open. You notice the extension is DD, so it is a raw file. Now from here I can select different kinds of modules, right? Like, I don't want it to do a hash lookup, I don't want it to do a file type identification, all that. I want it to check for recent activity, I want it to check for keyword search, I want it to you know uh, like, there is no point of running the Android machine extractor, right? There are some profiles here as well. Data source integrity, okay. GPX parser, okay. We will also learn Android analyzer, because it's an Android image, right? And Android analyzer, we can use two engines, and we are also going to carve something. Clicking on next. Now it will start performing the scan now, or the analysis, basically the automated analysis. Now keep this thing in your mind. Using these tools is not what you do in forensics. This tool can be used by anyone. The interfaces are very much easy. Anybody can use this tool. Like like I have shown this to you in a free webinar. Now you can download this tool. You will mess around. You will learn that. You somehow get, and then you later on go, maybe you go into a lab or something. You get access to a commercial tool. You will notice the workflow and the basic interface of the tool is very much similar to what you have used in the civil free tools, right? So using the tools is not the very big deal or the important part here. Using the tools and then getting the right amount of data out of it, right? Getting the correct result is the art. Now you can see it is categorizing the things, and it has flagged something like encryption programs. It is basically going through the image, and then we manually go through the whole evidence and see what is of our interest and what is not of our interest, right? There are deleted items found by it. So it is, I guess, J2 Pro had Android 6.0.1. So there will be chances of deleted data recovery. Reason being, there was not complete encryption. Now these are gibberish. So these are, let the metadata load. These are cache data only. We can see that, right? It's a Brave browser cache. Then there are some files. We got the operating system information. There is settings.db, and we can say, we can see it here, right? It's the program name Android. It's an Android device. We know it now. Artifact ID we are also having. So there are a lot of data artifacts, a lot of things that we are going to get through the analysis, right? And there's 1 GB ka file, which is nameless. Nothing is there. You can see there's a presence of something. Now, to be able to target or basically flag something as evidence, you must know what that thing is. You must know, and you must be familiar with these things. Like being a computer forensic analyst, cyber forensic analyst, basically being a cybersecurity guy. I am in this field from last 11 to 12 years. I know very much which is not known or not taught in the regular setting. Like I know a lot of things which I learned from normal trial and error method. For example, I know that Magix package is used for rooting a device, right? Now, if you guys don't know what Magix is, this won't raise any eyebrows of yours, right? You won't know what this is doing here. There's communication accounts it has find. There are 3 emails. So it must be finding the emails that were added in the system, right? So it has found 3 emails. You can see, right? Monica Agarwal, Mohit Gautam, and there is Cute Jigyasa. So this was my personal device. I can show it to you. Monica Agarwal was my science teacher back when I had this phone. Mohit Gautam is my brother, cousin brother. And Jigyasa is also my SST teacher when I was in school. Okay. And this particular email ID belongs to her younger daughter, Cute Jigyasa. Okay. Now, in real case, we will be given this type of data. Like we are looking for email addresses, we are looking for certain names. Like there will be keywords such as like certain like search for Mohit, search for Abhilash in this particular evidence, search for the messages which includes this type of names, this type of pattern, right? This is how an investigation goes on. Then there is some phone data. Now, what can be inside a phone data? There can be contact names, right? There can be contact numbers, which I, by the way, I should not be showing, but कोई बात नहीं, अब तो open कर दिया. There are messages. It can be SMS, right? There are web bookmarks. There is other data as well, like photos and all that. There are file sorted with the file types, right? So I can expand this one, and in the rightmost corner, you can see that the process is still going on. Okay. Now this is a very heavy task. Okay, so you need a very strong system for that. You can see it that it is using almost 100% of everything, right? Like it is using 18 GB of RAM out of 31 GB, 23% of my CPU, which is i7 by the way. It is i7 also of the H series, right? So this machine is very much balanced, to be honest. That's why it is not touching 100%. But you can see it here that it is using a lot of things here, right? Now, these are the SMSs. We can see it here, right? Your verification code. You can even see my name here, right? So this is the text, where it came from and all that. What is the thread ID? Then there are some bookmarks. Yahoo.com and Samsung.com. So this is from the Samsung S browser, sbrowser.db. Now again, I know this because I have seen this. I have learned this. sbrowser.db stands for Samsung browser database. Then there is file types. We can sort it by extensions. We can look for images, right? And there are certain images here, and you can see, right? I was having this phone in, I guess, class 7th or 8th. So you will be seeing like a lot of meme material. I was into creating memes back then, right? And you can see some other things as well. I am going to disable the preview for myself, right? So this is 512.jpg. So you can see it's a data from an app that was installed, right? Then there is a Google profile picture.png. So it could be like me. So I have a YouTube channel named Hacker Chas. This is the logo of it, like the older logo. I used to create all these. Okay. Then there is other data. There is some deleted JPG. I hope there is nothing objectional there. Okay, there is nothing. And there are some deleted folders. I don't know why they are marked as folder when they are only images, right? There are. So basically in Android 6, we were able to get the data. Now we can see that in the manifest version and all that, this is actually not the JPG file. This is the extension which has got mismatched. Like it is able to read this data. It is a text file actually. So there will be mismatched extension filter here, like this extension mismatch detected. There are 140 files with the wrong extension, right? So this is the file signature analysis which is it is doing for us. We can also do it manually. Sometimes it is very much possible that this tool is not having the correct database to detect a extension, and it can be left without any extension. So we can perform the manual file signature analysis. Now that is something only you can do, right? AI cannot do that for you because it is limited to the data it has. Automation cannot do that for you, right? Now there are certain mismatch files. It is saying likely a notable file. So it could be image. It is an image, by the way, and it is having no. These all are images, I guess. So Brawl Stars. I used to play Brawl Stars. Then I deleted my account. Then there is something. It's like a screenshot or something, I guess. Okay, this was downloaded from browser. Then there is EXIF metadata. Metadata is data about data. There are images here, which I will not be showing it to you, like for obvious reason. I just hope there is nothing objectional. अच्छा चांद की पिक्चर है ओके नहीं केवल चांद की पिक्चर नहीं है ठीक है so guys this is my personal data you basically get the idea what else we can do with this tool is there is this user content suspected. Now it is suspected that this is the user content, that this is generated by the user, right? It is not confirmed. We have to check that. So this is a photo of me when I was in school, this during the lockdown time periods, along with my female friends. So obviously I'm not going to show it to you. उनका कंसेंट नहीं है मेरे पास. दिस इज माई रूम, older room. This is me again with relative of mine. This is me with my female friends again. Okay, so this is my school time ka data. What else I can do? I can look for documents, I can look for particular PDF files. Now here you can see that there are certain PDF files, and there are deleted files as well. Let's just imagine this is a case about a person who is accused of performing Wi-Fi hacking, right? And we can see in the deleted data that there is a PDF of the same thing that he is accused of. So I think I won't be able to preview it, right? Let's just check. You can right click on any file and open it in an external viewer and it will open. So something wrong with the file. Basically, there is no data inside the file, but we still get the idea. We get a name that there is a presence of this file, or there was a presence of this file, right? Now there is a certificate. Now what is this certificate? We can see again, there is nothing there. There's a template. What is this now? तो मैं ही भूला पड़ा हूँ यार, बहुत टाइम हो गया इन चीज़ों को. It's a template for something which is empty. Strange. My psychology answer sheet. Yeah. So it is from class 11th. I didn't have the phone in class 11th, but I did had my WhatsApp installed in this phone back then. So that is why it's here. Then there is another PDF. This must be my question paper or something. Yeah, you can see. So this is my school circular. It is telling us that this is holiday and all that. So basically, there are a lot of filters, and we can check for the data based on those filters. We can also check for executable files, like if there is a presence of any executable file. Now we can see that there is a presence of exe file inside an Android system. So why is that? Now this will raise some eyebrows that this is an Android system. Why is there a Windows files available on this system? So it can raise our eyebrows, telling us that it must be hiding something, right? It is very much possible. It is hiding something. There are DLLs. What we can do with the DLLs? We can right click on the DLLs and we can export them, like basically save them externally, and then we can perform malware analysis. We can check for malware presence. These are the DLLs, right? There can be a DLL, a particular DLL which is part of malwares only, right? There's .com files as well. Oh, I got my email address which I lost. Okay. So this is my email address. So see, this is the thing we need to do as an investigator. We have to explore evidence, and this is just 14 GB of data. In just 14 GB of data, the 16 GB variant of the mobile device, we are getting so much of the data that we can easily lose the track of it. In current time, sorry, in the current time, there are the data which is, like you saw in the Redmi Note 4. It is a 64 GB variant. 58 GB and 64 GB is very, very common. Like it is now out of trend. Now the new normal is 128 GB and 256 GB. It is a time consuming process, right? And then there are file systems, right? There is a lot of system files here. You need to differentiate from those files. You need to be having the correct knowledge to be able to differentiate those files, right? A tool or automation thing cannot do all the things for you, right? Then we have what else we have here? I don't think so. Anything else is left? Okay. There is some raw data as well. So there are presence of some zip files. We can check for those. There are PDFs. We just check there, right? Paytm statement. So I used to have the account in a Paytm payments bank. So while examining now, I can, ho sakta hai, it is very much possible that we do not know that this particular person was having another account, maybe from another number. Now we saw that there's a Paytm statement, so we will be looking for the Paytm data. We will send a legal request to the Paytm to hand over the data of that particular user. So this is how a real investigation goes on. You really don't know anything in an investigation. You just move around and look for the things unless you are only doing some targeted keyword searching. That's a very different thing. There is certain keywords and there are some sounds you can see. These are the Samsung sounds. These are some right? Songs that I downloaded back when I was a kid. Sample images, Opus file. Opus file is also an audio file, by the way. These are the notification sounds. I can look for it if there is something abnormal here. Like say, see, everybody is lost. So what is this? It is very much possible that there was some steganography going on, right? It is very much possible that there is another data behind this particular file. I'm going to check that. I'm going to analyze that. Then there is the raw management of the data. Like there are a lot of PNG files, right? I can look for those PNG files. I will go through them. I will look if there is anything interesting going around, right? You can see that there are symbols. So these are possibly uh, the emojis. What is this? 6. Okay, this is also an emoji only. So we can look for any abnormalities here. Then there is a lot of JPG files. Now look at this. In just a 16 GB mobile phone, there is more than 16,000 pictures. Now what will you do and how will you sort that out? That's where the investigator comes in. Otherwise, these tools can be run by anyone, literally anyone. For example, if we upload this tutorial, if we upload this masterclass on YouTube, and there are you like for example 5,000 views, so every 5,000 of those people who are having a computer are able to use this tool now, right? But they won't be able to perform any investigation. They won't be able to tell me whether there was presence of certain things on the device. So there is a video, and this is the unboxing video, I guess, or something else. I don't know. I don't remember, to be honest. Then there are WebP files. Again, there are images files. There are JPG files which are over 17,000 now. Analysis is still going on. There are other formats of images as well. There are other formats of videos as well. It is very much possible that you are looking for certain evidence which you have been told that it is present on the device. You look for maybe MP4 files, like video files. You look for MKV files, but you didn't look for MPG file, or you didn't look for a GIF files, right? So all that thing comes inside your analysis part, right? Everything is clear here till now? If everything is clear here till now, then we are going to move towards the password bypassing section of this masterclass, and then we are going to have a little bit of a Q&A, and then we are going to basically end this masterclass. Okay, this is the day 2 again. Guys, write it in the chats. यहाँ तक समझ में आया? Is it interesting for you guys? Or is it exhausting? Or is it boring? What do you think, guys? I want your reviews in the chats, please. Everyone, wake up and write your reviews. सोने का टाइम नहीं है. Focus on the class. Interesting. Need something hands-on. We just did something hands-on. This is the analysis part. The main and the very much important part is your data acquisition, and that depends upon the particular device. Like as I told you, there is a possibility that there is an, let's just say we have a mobile device which is XYZ Note 4, okay, and there are two variants of it. there is a different chipset in both the variants. So XYZ Note 4 variant 1 is having Qualcomm chipset, and the variant 2 is having the MediaTek chipset. And there is also another variant which is having the Unisoc chipset or Exynos, can be anything. So the approach changes accordingly. For EDL for Qualcomm, we performed an EDL acquisition. We knew that EDL acquisition is possible. For MTK, maybe we are doing full file system, or maybe we are just able to get file system data only, right? We can only perform, let's just say, logical acquisition. Now, you said that we need something hands-on, right? So I'm going to show you something to you. There is a tool known as Avila Forensics. It's a free tool, free for everyone and open source as well. You guys can download it. It's available on the GitHub, right? You need to go there, releases, and then you download it. It's a 7 GB file. It's a virtual hard drive wali file. So what you'll need to do is you need to download this file. Okay, it was earlier and then something else. So I'm going to download this file now. And for some reason it is not getting downloaded on my download manager. I'll just simply change the extension. And then I'll download again. Now it will download a bit faster. Okay, so this file is getting downloaded. Now after this file gets downloaded, what you need to do is I'm going to close Scrappy from here. You have to go into the disk management here. By the way, if you guys need something hands-on, then don't forget to join the main training. It's going to start in the end of the month, right? And that training is completely filled with hands-on experiences only. You will be provided with the tools as well, be it commercial tool, be it open source tool. Okay. So after opening this disk management, click on action, and there is an option for attach a VHD, right here. Attach VHD, virtual hard disk. So after this file will be downloaded, I'll attach that. Okay, and I can mark that as a read-only drive. Right, I don't want it to be basically, maybe I don't want it to get modified, right? So let it just download, and we'll do the hands-on acquisition. Like I have shown you how you are doing the acquisition with the commercial tools. Now, how we do acquisition with the free tools? There is only one answer for the free tools, right? That is ADB, Android Debugging Bridge, which uses USB debugging. And even in the commercial tools, in the background, they must use ADB to be able to communicate with the Android device. And in case of an iOS, they must use an iTunes driver, right? They cannot interact with the Apple device without iTunes. There can be a different tool, but they are going to use iTunes only. For example, there is a free tool known as 3U Tools. It can create an iOS backup, but it also uses iTunes. So I can directly either create the backup via 3U Tools or directly via the iTunes itself, right? It was not this a huge file. It was just a 2 GB file, which was an just a zip file. You had to extract it, and it was a portable tool. You could have easily, used that. Now they have made the things much more complicated. Okay, so the file is downloaded now. Now I'll browse and go to the location where that file is. So it's inside my downloads folder, I guess. Yes, downloads. Then there's work folder. Then there is the available PhD marked it as read only. Now there is a virtual disk, and if I go into my this PC, I can hit here. There's a disk now, and there is a setup for Avila Forensics. Now, this is very much stupid, to be honest. If they just wanted to share the setup, they can, they could have shared it directly. See, inside the bin file, there are all the files. But okay, next, install. You can follow along if you want to, right? And yeah, I forgot to tell you in the beginning, when it comes to enabling the developer options in MIUI or at Redmi phones, you need to tap the MIUI version. Normally, you need to tap the build number, and in case of a Vivo device or an iQOO device, you need to tap on the version number. Go into the version info, and then you tap on that version, software version. That's how you enable developer options. And sometimes some devices don't have that setting, so you just install a developer options APK and then enable the settings manually. Okay, so it's installed now, and we can go into the disk management again, and now simply we can eject that. We cannot do that from here as far as I know, I guess. Oh, it was possible. Okay, it is ejected now. So there should be a shortcut, right? Okay, there's not a shortcut. So it is inside C, then there is Avila Forensics free, and then there is Avila Forensics. This is how it looks like. We are going to skip the details. We are going to just create a normal case here, or we can simply no case. This is the creator of the tool, and now we need to perform Android forensics, right? There are some tools. You can look around this tool. It's a pretty decent tool, to be honest. Here, backup ADV. There are full file system, APK downgrade you can do with this tool. You can decrypt the WhatsApp database. You can get the contact list. You can download the encrypted decryptor. You can generate WhatsApp chat new database schema. You can generate previous chat database. You can transcribe the audio. You can take screenshots. You can take the you can you can mirror the device. So like I was doing with the SRC DY here, and it is using that only in the background, right? I was able to get to it. Then there is an option for miscellaneous collection. There is SMS extractions you can do with this. Contact extraction you can do. You can make a special dump, right? And you can do the device exploration wala part. Like you can explore the device. So if there is nothing possible, if there is no type of acquisition possible, the best acquisition is the backup of the device. So here I'll test the connection. Okay, now I can remove this. And can put my own. Let's say 1 2 3. Now I click on extract, so it will perform the full backup of the device. Okay, and then there will be a screen asking me to click on backup my data, right? It is saying on the device click backup my data. So I won't be entering any passwords. I want it to be unencrypted. I clicked on backup my data, and it is creating a file here, as you can see, right? There is an .ab file that stands for Android backup. And Android backup is also important in case you are performing a APK downgrade, because you cannot afford to lose any sort of data. And after performing this acquisition, You guys have to, basically turn off and all the settings like this USB debugging, developer option, all that. You have to turn that off to be and to make that evidence be able to be uh, admissible in the court, right? You can see it is creating the dump, and I can browse it from here. It is in acquisitions folder inside the ADB in Avila Forensics itself. It must be here. I'll paste it. See Avila acquisitions. Okay, so it is here. Avila acquisitions default backup ADB. Yes, this is the file that it is generating right now. So what it is doing is it is creating a complete dump of the device, complete storage dump and some extra other things like your app data and all that, right? So backupping is the best option in case you cannot do any other type of extraction. Like for example, if I wasn't able to do physical extraction on this Redmi Note 4 device, I might be able to do something else. इस यहाँ तक समझ में आ रहा है? Lavanya, is it enough hands-on for you considering the time limit? Yes, you can follow along if you want to. It's a free tool. Yes, but lost with your pace. So please tell me about that in the chats, na, so that I can adjust the pace accordingly. You guys are not communicating. Then see that's the issue. If you guys don't interact, if you don't communicate on time, that's the issue. The instructor, the trainer doesn't know. You know, if you won't tell me, how would I know? But that's fine. You can get in touch with me. Okay, we can discuss. We are in the group after all, and you, I guess, you are connected with me on LinkedIn as well. So it is still creating a backup. काफी बड़ा बैकअप बना रहा है यार, क्या दिक्कत है? इतना बड़ा तो, इतना ज़्यादा तो डेटा नहीं है इसके अंदर। 438 MB हो गया, 446 MB हो गया, 450, 451, 53. By the minute it is increasing. In fact, by the second, I should say. Okay, backup finished. I got the message, and it has created a TAR file. That is your tar file or whatever you want to say. Also gave me a tool log. Okay, so I can do something with it if I want. Also gave me a decent report, but it is in mixed language. So this is chain of custody form, right? Chain of custody hashes and all that. Method used. This is something that I need to translate, right? It is in Russian, I guess. Now, what do we do when we get an AB file? We cannot directly dump it into many tools. See, it's not having something that we want, but we convert it into a TAR file and we have the data. See, this is the data and this is the apps data. All right. So in some tools, and like for example, if you do this manually using ADB commands, you will then need a tool to convert that AB file into a tar format. So AB to tar, there is a tool on GitHub made by me. It is a very very decent tool and pretty straightforward as well. See. I made it 2 years ago, and you can simply download this. It's just a 10 to 12 MB tool. You extract it, and then you run this tool. Pretty straightforward. You input the AB file here. You can do this, and then the output tar file. So I can name it output backup. Save, and then I click on convert. I don't know if it's working anymore or not. I made it 2 years ago, and I, to be honest, forgot about it after that. Did I upload the wrong copy on GitHub? It is possible. I have, you know, 2 copies of it. This is AB to tar. Here it is. Okay. Backup. Save. Okay, I guess I know what the issue is. I need to run it as an administrator because I am inside the C drive. See, these little things matter. Sometimes you just forgot about them. Just giving it a random name. It should work now in theory, and if it didn't, then I need to work on the tool again. So whatever, it's not working for some reason. I'll check that later. But we have a tar file. What we can do with this now? There is an option for a leap here, right? It's an Android analyzer tool, free and open source. Now, uh, did it open or did it die in the mid? Okay, open. Now here it is asking for a tar file or zip file or .gz file. I can browse for the file, and is here, right? And it is asking me to select the output folder. I can select the output folder on desktop. Select folder. Now there are some available modules. What we want it to parse, what we want it to fetch for us, basically. So in the ideal situation, we will be having particular things, right? Like what we want, what we do not want. But usually we run just the select all and just run all the profile, or we can search for it, right? And then we can click on process. It will run, it will parse the data for me. It will generate a report for me. So I can open it inside my browser, and there is a small little bit of a report here, right? I don't see anything here much because there isn't much data. Like you can see here, there is logs, right? The script logs. So it didn't find added as user, rare card, no file, no file. So basically, it didn't find something, right? This is your report home. SMS, it found some SMSs, right? And it found some data, like certain databases there. You can click on it and you can browse that manually. See configuration files and all that. So this is how we perform analysis with open source tools. Now there's a commercial tool known as MD Next. So I have shown to everyone already that the Redmi Note 4 that I am having is password protected, right? Everybody agree with me on that fact. guys, जल्दी जल्दी बताओ. We are closing into the time limit, and we are going to do this one very quickly now. Guys, जल्दी जल्दी. Lavanya, Karthik, we all can agree on the fact that this device is locked, right? So let me just show it to you one more time. I turned on the phone again, and it is password protected, right? Okay. So we are verifying that it is password protected. Now I'm going to bypass the password. What's on your screen now? So for that, I need to boot in the EDL mode again. I need to disconnect the battery. I need to short those 2 points out again, right? So I am going to, first of all, from here, I will select a profile. There is an option of screen unlock and screen relock. So in case of forensics, we cannot just remove the lock and let it be. We have to relock the device again. We are going to unlock the device just to acquire the evidence. Okay. And there are other options as well: logical backup, media transfer, SIM data, memory card data. We are going to unlock the device. Okay. We are going to bypass the uh, password. You can see that we need the consent and data on the device. For all that, this is the legal purposes. Now it is telling me to boot the device into EDL mode. Here it has also told me about the test points, the EDL points. Now I am going to short the pins. There's a connection sound. Okay. It detected the device into the EDL mode. I am going to click on next, and I will let the tool do its thing. So it will take a bit of time. You can see that it is searching for the hardware key, the decryption key value. Okay. लगता है, will I be able to bypass the screen lock? It is saying screen lock success. Please remove the device. All right. So now I am reconnecting the battery. Okay. And I am going to turn on my camera again. You can see it's booting now. And before that, let me turn off my screen. Okay. There is only camera on your screen now. So it started charging for some weird reason, but I'm going to power it on. Here. MI logo aa gaya. We can see that the device is booting now. Is the image not mirrored? We will just now wait for the moment of the truth. But it's loading. यहाँ पे हम स्क्रीन लॉक को बाईपास कर रहे हैं. हमने स्क्रीन लॉक हटा दिया है. वी हैव रिमूव द स्क्रीन लॉक. वी हैव bypassed the screen lock. So no data will be harmed, right? The data will be as it is, as it is on the storage. It will be unaltered. It will be unharmed, right? But again, I cannot show you the data of this device. This is a very sensitive case that I am working on right now. It is in relation to this, uh, like in this case, is related to a child exploiter. Basically, it's it is having some sort of child exploitation material and the traces and events or like that. There is some evidence trail of money laundering as well, how they were selling that csap material and all that. Csap is known as child exploitation material, right? And how they were making money out of it, how were they doing money laundering, hawala bolte hain हिंदी में उसको, right? And how they were basically running illegal brothels of some underage girls. So this is a very serious case with me right now, and I have acquired the permission from the law enforcement to just showcase the unlocking procedure and the procedure how the investigation is done. I'm not authorized, and I'm not going to be showing you any data inside this device. Okay, so it is taking its sweet time. We will just let it boot. Okay, sometimes happens like this, that we have bypassed the password of a system, right? We bypass the password of the system, and after that the system just gets stuck in a, what is it, what you can call it, maybe in a boot loop, or maybe it is giving us some error, it is not booting past it. So in that case, we flash the device by retaining its data. Okay, so now I will just let it boot, and in the meantime you guys can have a look around the autopsy tool that we had. Okay, the analysis is finished by the tool here. It has some data to show us. Okay, there are some certain errors and all that. We are going to read it, then we are going to change our methodology accordingly. And there are certain messages here, like it wasn't able to unpack the cache, right? It wasn't able to deal with certain files. There are certain files which are mismatched. There are certain files which are basically not having any data inside it. So this is how your digital forensics goes on. There is no one set standardized way to go about for any investigation. You find out a lot many things from an investigation, and sometimes you find evidence for another crime inside an investigation as well. So that is all from my side, guys. This will be my time, and password bypassing has completed. Device is stuck in a boot loop though, so I'll need to perform the flashing part again. Let me just show you the option about the flashing part that I was talking about. So there is a lot, usually people are aren't aware of the fact that you can retain your data. So for MI phones, we are going to use MI flash tool, and then I have the firmware here somewhere, right? This is the firmware. I'll select the firmware, and then in the bottom side, you can look at these three options, right? There is an option to save user data. Okay, Lavanya, are you with me? Screen not visible. Okay. See, this is the MI flash tool. Okay. and I loaded the firmware of the device by selecting the folder. Now, at the bottom, you can notice these three options. It says clean all, save user data, clean all, and log. So there is an option to save user data. This is the same tool used by the service center as well. So you can save the user data. So like the phone is stuck in a boot loop, right? So how do we know that the password decryption, or sorry, the password bypassing has succeeded? We know it because the phone is stuck in a boot loop after all. Because if it has failed, that means we weren't able to do that. We didn't make any changes to the system, right? But it is stuck in a boot loop. So we know that we have succeeded. We just need to bypass the boot loop now. So we will select this option, save user data, and we will document this, that why we are doing this, right? And after that, we will flash the device. The flash will be a success, and we can reboot the device, and the device will be rebooted into the normal screen without a password. So I hope it is understandable now. समझ आया guys? Let me just try to force reboot the device though. Sometimes we just don't need to flash the device. We can simply, force the device to be rebooting again, and the data is decrypted. Although we don't really need to perform password bypassing device, because we are able to get the physical image with another tool. Like we use the device extractor to get the physical image, so it basically bypassed the password itself, right? We didn't didn't need to do anything else. But this is just for the sake of it. I'm telling you guys that we can bypass the password of many devices. Many devices are not possible, and many devices are possible to bypass. So the bottom line is, guys, this was just a teaser. If you guys want to learn this thing in detail, in depth, you can enroll for the batch. You can get in touch with us. We are planning a batch for it, right? It will be a complete hands-on training with all the industry standard tools, and I will be very, very happy to be part of your journey in digital forensics. Thank you so much, guys. That will be it from my side. I hope this session was something valuable to you. It taught you something. You got some value out of it. I can understand if this session was boring, because there is a lot of theory going on, right? But theory is something that we cannot ignore. Can you get jobs in digital forensics? Yes and no. Freshers can get a job with a certain experience or proven work. So you need to have an internship, right? Because forensics is a very sensitive thing. Not anybody could be having the data, right? Like I am an independent researcher. I am working under my own firm, right? I have my own company. I am doing some case. This is the very sensitive case that I am having right now. Now I cannot hire just anyone, right, under me, for example, to be working on that particular case or that particular evidence. So that's why there is a certain need for professionalism and certain need for evidence. Also, these there are tools which have certain options that are not available in the open source tools, and you need to know that beforehand, because there is an interview that you have to crack, right? So you must aim for an internship or a practical on the job training, and after that you can opt for a job. There are a lot of companies that are hiring for forensic experts, like there's this Sign Technologies. uh, mm, then there is another company known Forensic Guru is there. It hires interns after a certain period of time, right? There is a company known as Palace Technologies. It's an MNC. It hires, right? Deloitte also hires for digital forensic analyst. So these are the openings that you can aim for. So that's it, guys. That's all from my side. I hope you liked this session. I hope it was valuable for you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for your time. And if you are really interested in digital forensics, then make sure you enroll in the upcoming batch, and all the details will be shared in the group. Thank you so much, guys. And we will hopefully see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for your time, guys.